Hello once again, witchy people. I'm going back to the 500 subscribers questions. So obviously this is quite a while ago, and I have the list of questions here, and basically I pick a question off the list and answer it with no prepping whatsoever. So no notes, no nothing. And the question is from Beanbag Hagwag Patricia, one of my very favourite people on YouTube and Facebook. What is your main YouTube creator goal or your favourite thing about our YouTube community? Okay, I didn't really have a creator goal in mind when I started this channel, and even as it progressed. My only goal, my only aim was really to make a record of this person, because as time goes on I am becoming more forgetful. I don't remember things like I used to, and I wanted a record of the person that is or was the whole person, the knowledge that that person had, the opinions that that person had, if you like, that person that was me, so that I had a record and I could say that was me, and it was just like a gentle nudge, a reminder of who I was. It's quite an emotive subject for me, because I know that one day I won't be able to recall most of what I learned, and a lot of that is going to be, with that learning, is going to be a lot of the memories that I have as a child, and times with my grandparents, and it hurts now. Obviously it's not going to matter in the future, because if I don't remember it, it's not going to hurt me not remembering, but it hurts now knowing that there is going to be a time in the future when I will not be able to recall those things. So that was my goal originally. My goal hasn't changed as, why I set up the YouTube channel. As a YouTube creator, I don't actually have a goal as such, but like I say, my goal of just having a record of who I was is still there, and I will keep on recording for as long as I can and we'll just see how that goes. Now, my favourite thing about the YouTube community has stemmed from that. It's kind of changed into this is who I am, and people react to that. I like the reactions. I like the fact that, not as a complete whole, but generally as a community, we are there for each other, and that we are curious about each other's paths rather than judgmental. And I think it's not just important, it's essential that we are there for each other emotionally, and to support each other through something that may not be the easiest of times. Now, also what I like about this community, like I said, the differences that we have, we tend to respect. We are curious about each other's paths rather than dismissive or judgmental. And there are a few people, I will admit, not everyone's perfect, not every community is perfect. There are a few people who tend to, as I've noticed in the past, jump to the wrong assumption when you say something. But that's quite rare, I think, now. Now, another person that asked me a question was, blind as a bat without them, Lily Dawn 85007. Have you ever experienced anything that made you regret, however briefly, coming out of the broom closet? That is sometimes the only regret that I have, is that people outside of the community, and occasionally people inside the community, will judge you on the path that you lead, the path that you've chosen. For the most part, like I said, within the community, that there's no judgment there, it's just curiosity. A few times I have wished that I hadn't been quite so open about who I am. It's really hard to sort of separate who I am from what I am. They intermingled, they are the same. So yeah, there has been a couple of times when I've regretted not coming out of the broom closet, but being open about who I am in general. And that also leads me on to another question, which is, oh, I love this question. This is from Midnight Muse. Oh gosh, what a lovely name. It says, how do your children feel about you being a witch? And she goes on, I have 3 children and only my son thinks it's really cool. My 15-month-old daughter isn't old enough to know yet, and my 7-year-old daughter just likes my oracle and tarot cards and my shiny crystals. That's so adorable. Obviously my children are all grown up now. My youngest is 25, 26 this year. They've never known any different, so they don't feel anything specific about it. You know, mum is just who mum is. The same goes for my grandchildren. I have my daughter Lily on here, and I asked her, what do you think? And you know, she was, it was kind of hard for her to really explain how she felt, because to her, me being a witch is just normal. Nonna is who Nonna is. You know, there's Nonna is a witch. You know, Nonna is who she is. It's not just what she is, it's who she is. I think I asked my children, were they ever embarrassed that their mum was different? Because obviously children growing up, they'll take a lot of things and they don't find it at all embarrassing. What they do find embarrassing is being picked out as being different, because that way you're taken out of the crowd and you then become an outsider. So I asked if there was anything that I could have done differently, and it was no, because they don't know any different. For the most part, most of their friends thought it was really cool, and I can't say I enjoyed that. But it's not, I don't mind it. And as a lot of my children's friends have grown up, they have become very, I'm going to make up a word, paganistic, very witch-like, in a lot of their spirituality and their thoughts and their deeds. If they are spiritual anyway, it tends to be in quite a witchy sort of way, quite a witchy aesthetic, emotionally and spiritually. So yeah, they don't feel anything, my children don't feel anything odd or extreme or different about me being a witch, because I am who I am, and they've never known any different. And that leads me on to another question by there we go, Huge Dent. How long have you been practicing? That, funnily enough, is quite a difficult question, because I've always been who I am. So you could say all my life. But I think there is a time, even if you say I've been a witch all my life, there is a time when you consciously decide to put the label of witch on to the person you are, how you live your life, your practice, if you like. And I think I gave myself that moniker of being a witch when I was about 14, 15. Certainly by the age of 8 or 9 I knew that's what I was, but there was so much even then of the whole, green face, pointy hat, all dressed in black sort of vibe that it wasn't easy to associate with what witchcraft is to me now, what witchcraft was to me back then, and what being a witch meant. Do you see what I mean? Because of the way that witchcraft and witches were perceived as I was growing up, and the role models that we had, you didn't want to associate yourself with it, even though that was what you were. But like certainly by sort of like 14, 15, I had just allowed myself to understand that witchcraft and witches was something that I am, that had nothing to do with these Hollywood interpretations, like I said, the green face and the pointed black hat. Although I would love to dress up like that one day. I think that would be absolutely amazing, just for the sheer fun of it. So how long have I been on this path? Forever. It feels like there's never been a time when I wasn't who I am. I think as a child you are influenced a great deal by those around you. Certainly I was, and as I said before with my children, and being different feels like the only embarrassing thing, the only crime there is as a child is really to be different. And I would join in. I mean, I went to Sunday school, and one of my nans, my dad's stepmum, was quite religious, which was quite funny because she always used to say your prayers and God bless. But then on the other side, she wasn't at all, sort of like a church-going person. She was very much into spiritualism in a big way, but not open about it. So just to be accepted, I think there's also that fear as a child of not being accepted. So just to be accepted, I would say my prayers when I stayed at my nan's house. As I said, I went to Sunday school because my friends went to Sunday school. And although as a child I was doing it to fit in, to do the normal thing, as my nan used to say that little boys and little girls do, as I've grown up it's turned into a respect for other religions, other choices that people make. I have a great deal of respect for the choices that they make, because I think any religion or path that you choose in life will have its detractors and its naysayers, and for the joy that you can get being in a community of like-minded people, there are other people who aren't like-minded who will want to cause some sort of pain and problem for you. So yes, like I say, as a child you do like to join in, so I did, but I never, when I used to say my prayers, the God that I was saying my prayers to wasn't, even back then, the typical Christian Bible God. I had my own ideas, even as a child, 4, 5, 6 years old, of who or what was the greater, the pagan equivalent, if you like, of a Christian God, without knowing that, or without being able to put that pagan label on myself. And I've said before, as a child, my mum used to take us out onto ghost hunts, and used to go out storm singing and talking to trees and telling our problems to the wind and dancing in the rain. And my grandfather, both my grandfathers would take me for walks and tell me all about herbs and history, not just family history, but the history of herbs and the history of where I lived, and all the old wives' tales and the legends and such like. So I am going completely off course, but you know what I mean. So I have always been on this path, but giving myself the actual label, which I couldn't really say. Like I said, definitely by sort of like 14, 15 years old, it was there. I knew, and I had my own idea of what my identity as a witch was and is. But that's just when I put a proper label to it. Before then, I was still who I was. I grew up like it, and I obviously was influenced very much by the people around me, which is quite odd because my father's Jewish, my mum's born again Christian. I'm pretty sure my dad's stepmom, who raised him from the age of 11, so has always been my nan, was I think she might have been Catholic or Church of England. I'm not too sure. My grandfather was Church of England. My other grandfather was raised as a Salvationist. So all these religions that are very much associated with Christianity and Judaism, and there being this Abrahamic God, and that wasn't how I was raised. I was raised in a completely different way, which I am very thankful for. I am incredibly thankful for, because I like my feelings of spirituality and how I feel about religion. Like I said, I have a great respect, because of the way I was raised, I have a great respect of other people's religions, and I like to try and understand them. Try and understand them, and not pick them apart. I don't mean like that, but rather I should say I like being understanding of them. I find religion an incredibly interesting subject, which I'm not going to go into now. So there we go, a few questions answered, and once again totally off course, but that's just the way I am, so never mind. Thank you for watching again, witchy people. I will be back soon. Bye for now.